What's going on, traders? Welcome back to another video. I appreciate you tuning in as always. Let's talk about how to use the 15-minute to your advantage on a day where the 1-minute chart may not look the best. I made other videos on this in my 25 days of trading series, so you can definitely go back and watch that one as well. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss future uploads. But in this one, the first trade of the year that I took to start off January, it really came from using that 15-minute very strongly when potentially ugly 1-minute price action was coming in. So let's take a look at it. If you look at the charts here on TradeZilla, first off, the one trade, I waited till Friday. I didn't take anything on the Thursday. We're still carrying that nice green streak at 17 days. If I just unfiltered to this year above my head and just overall on my TradeZilla, you can see we got it to 17 days. So it's still alive. Let's see if we can maybe get it to 20, 18. I'm not really too hung up on it at this point. I'm just looking to have great weeks and great months and just carry the momentum into this new year. Let's look at TradingView here real quick. We'll look at two assets, but first off, obviously my nice ES. The first thing would be we took this on stream. I didn't take the trades, but I wanted to take this short right here as sellers really stepped in because buyers weren't able to make these two new high of day. We had midnight price. I don't know exactly. Midnight open price was, I know it was below yesterday's New York. So let's just call it there because I know we didn't fulfill that price. But you could have had good reason to want to sell it down to that midnight price because it was about 70% probability that it gets filled. So you can get a good stop loss at high day saying, well, yeah, if it breaks for a new high, I don't want to be short, but I can get good risk reward at these two double tops up here. So I do like that reasoning for it. And you could still get 1R out of the trade, right? Even though it doesn't go to midnight, that's not where we're trying to hold our trades to. We're trading from mid range to bottom range. You still get your 1R move, nice risk reward trading it right at that New York VWAP. Now, the one thing I don't want to see is jumping in super late down here on that candle or even the one way down here because now you're too low. If you just measure from the top, it's now moved 26 points straight down, and now we're jumping in. That was the move. We missed the move of 30 points. Now we're going to jump in, right? We're looking for to get on the train before it really pops, which is not why we're normally looking for a price close to a VWAP or after a retest, after a pullback, because now the move is ready to come in again. But if you're jumping in that low, unfortunately, you missed the move, in my opinion. And it kind of even just goes to what I speak about in the course of if you read it as taking the break of opening range low, let's call it the first break, they don't normally run, right? It's probably going to retest and come back lower if it wanted to. So this probably isn't the best place to get in anyways, even if it did hold bearish. But what I want to talk about in this video is really just using the 15-minute. And another lesson I was discussing in my TradeZilla report card, maybe we'll pull that up, is just not getting into the habit or thinking of, and I fall into it as well, of, oh, we've been slow for, let's just measure it out, about an hour and a half, 2 hours. That it's 11 o'clock now. We're still in a range. Oh man, today's slow. It's an ugly day. We're not going to find anything clean. There's still 5 or 6 hours left in the session. There's plenty of time. That do we really think we're going to stay in here all day? Now, of course, we've seen the days where it does really ping pong around and not really make any new highs or new lows. But for the most part, we normally do find some volatility or find some gas eventually, and the trend does come in. So I don't think you should give up on the day if you see it a little bit slow at 11 o'clock around here. There still could be plenty of move later on if you check back in at 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, whatever it may be. So don't just give up on the day and say we're not going to find any trending moves. But with this 15-minute, let's just pop it open here on the left. We'll make a big screen for you guys. On the left side from the changeover, you can see the yesterday's New York view up. We're above that at this point. This blue one overnight was higher highs and higher lows. Definitely bullish there. Nowhere even close to taking out of yesterday's low. Sellers didn't even try to move us lower overnight at all. So no selling pressure. So none there. And then even if you look at it, we could check it to a daily, just because this is a key factor to look at. We've had 5 bearish days in a row. We normally don't see 6. We don't even normally see 4 and then 5. So even the last 2 days were unlikely that we close bearish. But seeing 5 down days in a row, we're right back where we bounced last time. I'm not really expecting another bearish day, especially when it's not telling me anything bearish at all. I'm really not going to believe we're going to have a 6th consecutive day when it's been all buyers overnight. And the one thing I want to talk about with these shorts, you'd want to be close to a VWAP, like in here or way up here, right? Trading from the top of a range, because I'm still very bullish on the 15-minute, right? I could drag it over here. Those pops lower are just leaving pins to this daily VWAP and yesterday's New York VWAP. That we're not bearish on the day. We're just seeing potential bearish price action for the short term. But what's the trend? The high probability trades are still going to be to the upside because buyers are still more so in control, right? Imagine saying, I'm going to sell it here because I'm super bearish. Doesn't look that way at all. You're at a new higher high, bullish continuation all morning above all VWAPs. So it's a tough short. So I think after that, while you're still choppy in here, I think I have it marked up on this one. Yeah, to save some time. It's marked up on the minis. I really like this play on the break of a high day because you technically did just get a new high day, so it's not in a range anymore. A little bit choppy still, but you get a new high, not chasing that. Pull back, respects New York, break of high day view up. Now let's go get that trend continuation. The trend being bullish on the 15 minute. It's still even looking a little bit more bullish here on the 1 minute because you got higher lows since that attempt down. You're above the New York. We've got the double break. We're probably not going to double break the initial balance, which is going to be down here, right? So all things are lining up for longs, and now you're getting your textbook play of a break of high day view up. So I think that was the play, and it comes at 11:20. So you could be patient during this chop for the first hour and a half when there really is no trend, not burning yourself out, taking bad trades, forcing a long, forcing a short. Then you should have risk available to put on this long because it's your first trade of the day. Now you got your best setup. Now act on it. One other thing you could also say is I wanted to potentially even just buy the bounce off it because, like I was saying, looking at that 15-minute, I had strong conviction. This is super bullish. I don't think we want to come lower today, so I want to be a buyer. That I might just buy the bounce down here because I don't think we want to go lower. Really using that 15-minute to help me get in because look at all these pins to the downside. Buyers keep stepping us in right back up above it. That, yeah, I'd want to be a buyer. And this long, if I circle it on the 1 minute, you can see that circle I just draw here on the 15-minute. That's over here. You're definitely above the daily. We've pinned it for about an hour and a half over here. So longs were definitely the way. I don't think you would want to sell it over here at this time. I have this time marked up. But the one lesson is be patient. If it is choppy, it could definitely stay choppy, but don't just assume that we're not going to find anything. It's going to be rangy forever. We're out of gas for the day. It could be if there was like maybe an FOMC in the afternoon, but overall, I'm not going to just predict that and check out or just take something because I'm not seeing my best play. You don't take anything in this chop, nothing in that chop. I'm not seeing my setup. Oh, now we're getting a new high aligning with my daily bias. We're respecting a key VWAP, break of a high day VWAP. Here's my best trade. And I have full confidence in it because that 15-minute is still holding up bullish. I know I don't want to be a seller today. I can get a great price here and a great stop loss because if it comes back below the New York, it's not going to look great on the 15-minute. It's going to be coming back down to the daily. So everything lines up. I really like this trade. You could even go to NQ. Same exact thing, looking the same. Now, this one doesn't quite make a new high a day like ES did, right? So if you're only checking NQ, you're not going to see that ES made a new high. But since I was watching both, you could argue to get in this NQ because you're kind of using that ES as a, not an excuse, but as a driving factor of, well, ES just made a new high. It's pulling back to its New York. That looks like it's ready to pop higher, which would probably drag my NQ higher as well. So I'm comfortable buying it here as well. If you just go to the 15-minute real quick, yeah, same thing. It's holding the daily just as nicely. You got 3 full body candles down. I really like this pin to the daily. The next one as well, kind of like a 2 candle formation. And you're clearly just holding up above this daily. I want to be a buyer. So how can I be a buyer? What's normally a good price? If I can get it off a key view up with a stop loss below that would invalidate it, beautiful trade, right? And then even later on, let's say you miss that. If you even just go back to ES here, you get the clear new high a day confirming the longs. Right now we're seeing definitely more trend, right? Higher high, higher low, higher high. Well, let's just anchor a high day view up on and then take the break for trend continuation higher. And I really like this one just because this is one of those clean examples of when you kind of see that bottom of the pullback and then the creation of higher lows into that last break that finally pops, right? Kind of starting to create that right side of the U rather than taking the lower highs and lower lows. Maybe now you're starting to create higher highs and higher lows, right? It's getting a little busy with the drawings, but hopefully you can see that, right? So lower highs and lower lows. Well, now we're kind of starting to turn that right side. Maybe buyers are stepping back in with some momentum. So longs were definitely the way from the 15-minute, even through the choppy price action. All that really means is don't get sucked into the shorts. Don't buy it on a breakout when it's still stuck in a range. But as the morning goes on and sellers aren't showing strength anymore, they haven't been able to keep us at new highs a day, right? Let me just clear all this. Sellers clearly aren't in more control, making new lows a day every time. So stick to that 15-minute. have a plan, wait for your best setup. That's as simple as that. Finally able to get that nice first trade of the month, first trade of the year. It sticks to all the trades I took in December and November, October, everything I took to get this 17-day streak. They look just like this one. But I think just having that 15-minute in mind, like I taught you guys in December in that 25-day series, I never once was getting sucked into the shorts besides that midnight price one because that's a clear edge. But I would have had a really good price at it, not chasing the breakouts, right? Because one last thing on this midnight price trade that we were potentially talking about, trading it short to go fulfill that midnight price below you, it was somewhere down here. The price would have to be at that New York VWAP because that's my play. And I'm not going to just see it way down here and say, well, it probably wants to go get midnight, so let me just jump in now and we'll go get it. No, I missed my opportunity to potentially play that edge. I missed the trade. I can't just jump in late now because there's a statistic we might want to go down there. I have to want to go down there and be able to get my price to my liking, to my setup. So I missed it on stream, and thankfully I didn't jump in late down here because it came right back up and smoked me. But hopefully, guys, help. Let's have a great week, great start to the year. Let's finish this month strong. Let's start it off strong. If you have any questions on these markups, you can definitely go check out on AceFX TV, the Futures 2.0 course. You'll see all these markups and trades that I've been taking. Right, you see the VWAP breaks as well as the VWAP bounces, as well as some all-time high VWAPs, all the good stuff of how to get in, how to get out, how to manage them, everything you need. So definitely go check it out. I'll see you guys on stream next week. Let's have a great month. Let's keep trading with that 15-minute and 1 minute together, all right? See you guys on the desk tomorrow morning.